Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new episode of Reddit or AI. The theme for tonight's episode is the breasts of Reddit. Quite a program. So basically, my lovely assistant will read two stories from the Am I the A-hole subreddit on the subject of breast issues. After each one, I'll give you my opinion on whether the person is the a-hole or not. Feel free to discuss in the comments as well because I suspect some of the subjects this time will be a bit controversial. Now, to make things even more interesting, be aware that some of the stories may be created by AI. And to make things a bit more difficult for you, it's possible that both are actually fake or true. So, will you be able to find out which one is real or not? Let's see. The title for the first story is, Am I the a-hole for refusing to listen to my husband about my breasts? Well, with such a sensitive subject, it was to be expected that there would be some couple conflict involved.
AITA for refusing to listen to my husband about my breasts? I want to have a breast reduction surgery. I will not be asking him to spend any money on me. We both work and we put aside equal amount of money for private accounts for private savings and spendings, so please do not make it about money. I've been talking about this surgery since I turned 40, but I have dreamed about it since I was 15. Whenever I spoke about it, he would sit silent and listen, supported me, I thought. Then he asked if I wanted him to go to my first consultation, and I was very happy. Consultations are usually private here, but he wanted to tag along for the first part of the consultation. When I talked to the doctor, who is an internationally respected doctor, my husband sat silent at first. Then he asked when the psychological evaluation would happen. The doctor was puzzled and explained that I am an adult. My husband got irritated and almost yelled, "So you would not mind operating on people with body dysmorphia?" The doctor and nurse were shocked and I was livid. When we got home, I was destroyed. I am scared I have lost my opportunity with the best surgeon in the country and probably one of the best in the world. My husband insisted I needed therapy and that he will not allow me to have the surgery because I look perfect. I asked him what he means not allowing me. I was very angry and crying. He said, "Well, I will do anything. Tell your family you are mentally unstable, and I will leave you." Thankfully, I made a new appointment, and the doctor was too kind. I have my new appointment on Wednesday. My husband is livid and said he will never look at or touch me again. Edit again. Our ages are me 42 and he 40, if this is important.
Okay, I think I'll go with a bit of a controversial take on this one, but currently for me, it's everyone sucks here. First, the husband sucks because he had a pretty violent reaction to his wife's decision. I mean, I can understand that it's never pleasant when your wife's body is changing, but if it may be for health reasons, because some women have back pain or other health issues caused by large breasts, ultimately it's her body and she has a right to change it if she wishes. He shouldn't threaten to sully her name or to leave. Now, I think the wife sucks also, because she clearly doesn't really want to involve her husband in the decision, while this is a procedure that will have an impact on both spouses' intimate lives. Being married sometimes means sharing some of the decisions you would normally take alone with your spouse. Also, I don't see what's wrong with having a psychological evaluation before an important surgery. To sum it up, it's something that needs to be discussed calmly by both spouses instead of threatening to leave right away or threatening to go ahead no matter what. They should put into balance the health problems caused by large breasts versus the impact on the couple's sex life, especially if the wife's breast size is important to the husband. It looks like we have an update though, so maybe the situation will clarify a little bit.
Update, September 21st, 2025. Next day. My husband said if I went ahead with surgery, he wanted a separation. Update. So yesterday, I was here complaining about my husband, and my gut feelings were right after seeing the reactions here. that my husband is crossing a boundary by trying to control how my body looks. So this morning, I told him this. He just sat silently and listened to me. Then he said that he wasn't trying to control me or coerce me, but at the same breath, he said he loved my body, and if I am not taking his opinions into consideration, then he knows that I don't care about his opinion, and he would not look at me the same way or touch me. I said that I didn't want to be married to someone who doesn't want to touch me, and he said that then we won't be married. But remember that I love you, and you are breaking up with a man who loves you because of superficial changes I want to do to my body. He would stay for the recovery, then he moves out after Christmas. I said I was going ahead with my surgery, and he just shook his head. He cried later in the garden. I can't believe him. He sounds final, like he has been thinking about divorce for a while. I have been waiting for this surgery for 2.5 years because of how busy this doctor is, and my preliminary surgery day is in November. I have consultation soon. I am going ahead with my plans, and he can go with his. According to him, if I am free to choose what I do with my body, he is free to leave when it doesn't suit him anymore. P.S. Many are asking about the surgery, and it is breast reduction. And no, I am not doing it for medical reasons, since I have no back or head pains. I am not that big to have these problems. It is purely cosmetic. This is the most important part of my beef with him. I know you mean well bringing up health benefits, but this is about my rights to control how I look. He would 100% have supported me if it was for medical reasons, because he has in the past. Thanks.
Okay, after the update, I tend to be leaning more toward you are the a-hole for the original poster, although to some extent the husband still sucks. Looking at the intense reaction of the husband, I strongly suspect that he has some kind of large breast fetish and that it will be very difficult for him to keep a normal sex life with his wife after the operation. This would also explain, although not excuse, the violent reaction he had previously. I think the husband should be much clearer about his needs with his wife and try to restart the dialogue rather than just leaving. That being said, it's possible that he doesn't see many other options, as if the fetish is very strong and he's unable to perform in the bedroom, he may be ashamed of his condition. I understand also that he doesn't want to stay in what could quickly become a sexless marriage. Now, concerning the wife, what's worrying me here is that she's doing this procedure only for aesthetic reasons. She seems okay with potentially ruining her and her husband's sex life simply because she doesn't like the way she looks, or the way people are looking at her. Well, there will always be people who are going to be looking at you wrong no matter what you look like. Do you really need to destroy your couple and your marriage for this? Because let's be honest, if your husband really has a strong large breast fetish, you're practically forcing him to leave the marriage by having the operation. Now, it's your body, you can do with it whatever you want, but don't complain if your husband is leaving you, because you are ultimately the cause of it. If she goes through with this, she must realize that she will most likely have to find another husband, as they may not be compatible anymore. In the end, I hope OP's husband finds a woman with the body he likes, and OP finds a man that likes her new body. Before we move to the next story for today, let me tell you a little bit about the sponsor of this video, which is, as usual, me and one of my books. Today, it's Fang's Fame and Fine Art. This is a funny urban fantasy book about a 600-year-old vampiress who finds a painting with the soul of one of her former lovers trapped in it. This is the start of an improbable chain of events featuring art heists, blundering sorcerers, haunted electronics, and a very, very bad reality TV show. If you want a funny urban fantasy book with some heart in it, Fang's Fame and Fine Art is available everywhere ebooks are sold: Amazon, Kobo, Nook, Apple, as well as many other sites. Now let's move to the second story for today. AITA for what I said after my husband commented on my flat chest. Oh my, it looks like we have the opposite problem now.
AITA for what I said after my husband commented on my flat chest. My husband Jared and I have been married for 3 years. He's currently out of work, used to work at a high-paying job but got kicked out the company over a fight with a coworker, and I'm the one paying for rent and utilities. We dedicate some time to see his family weekly. They don't know he's unemployed because he thought they'll see him as a failure, especially his mom, so he told me to keep it a secret. Last night, we were sitting eating dinner at the table. His cousin was talking about his fiancée going to Brazil to do a boob job. Jared asked if he was serious, then flattered FSIL's boobs, saying they're perfect and that he didn't understand why she'd get a boob job. He then turned to me, stared at my chest while I was eating like an idiot. I have a flat chest, I'm insecure about it, but can't do anything about it, obviously, and said, "Hey, why don't you get a boob job? You're the one who needs it the most." His mom gasped and was like, "Jared?" I said, "It's fine." I then turned to him and said, "I'll get a boob job once you get an actual job since you've been unemployed for 6 months now." He stared at me in disbelief. His mom began questioning him about being unemployed, and he denied, then admitted it was true. It got awkward, with his mom scolding him and others shaming him for it and for hiding it. He got so overwhelmed he went outside and stayed inside the car till I came. He started yelling at me repeatedly, "You couldn't have held your effing tongue?" and accused me of turning his family against him and having them judge then shun him. Now he can't even step a foot in their house from shame and guilt. I argued that his comment about my chest was insulting, but he said he was giving me a piece of advice and that there is nothing wrong with him wanting me to look pretty and that he said what he said out of support and encouragement. But what I did was the complete opposite, and that it was intended to hurt him, and I succeeded. He dropped me off at home, then went to stay with his buddies. I called him later thinking he calmed down, but his friend said he didn't want to speak to me and I should give him space.
Okay, on this one, I'm leaning more toward not the a-hole. The reason is that you've been asked to keep a secret that really you shouldn't have to keep. I mean, if he doesn't want his family to know he's unemployed, then maybe he should get a job. Screaming at OP and being angry with her for telling the truth is not acceptable. Concerning the comment about the boob job, I think it was not the right time nor the right way to do this, and it was indeed mean, especially if you're already insecure about your chest size. I can understand that he may want you to have a boob job if he finds you a little flat, but it's something that needs to be discussed privately with you, not in front of his family. I think, in the end, some men like big-chested women, some other men like flat-chested women, and some other men don't care. And I think that's a good thing, because if we were all going after the same kind of body, that body type would be too much in demand. And now it's the moment of truth, the big reveal. I'm going to tell you which stories were real and which ones were fake. And today, I made a trap for you, because actually, both stories are from Reddit itself. In fact, the first story was even part of the Best of Redditor Updates, which compiles the best stories published on Reddit. If you liked this video, don't hesitate to push the like button. And if you want more of this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me quite a lot with the algorithm. I'll see you next week for more stories from Reddit, or maybe not from Reddit. Remains to be seen. Bye, guys.